The airship soared through the clouds, its metal exterior gleaming in the sunlight. Gears and pipes were visible through the glass windows of the cockpit, and the sound of the engines filled the air. The crew of the airship, a group of seasoned pilots and engineers, worked tirelessly to keep the vessel in the air. But there was one among them who had other plans. Jax, a young thief with a talent for piloting airships, had snuck aboard the vessel in the dead of night. He had been watching the airship for weeks, waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike. And now, as the ship soared through the clouds, he knew that his time had come. Jax made his way through the ship, avoiding the crew as best he could. He knew that if he was caught, he would be thrown overboard without a second thought. But he was determined to see this through. Finally, he reached the engine room. It was a maze of pipes and gears, with steam hissing from every valve. Jax smiled to himself as he made his way to the main engine. This was the heart of the ship, and if he could take it out, the airship would be at his mercy. He pulled out a small toolkit and got to work. It took him hours to disable the engine, but he finally succeeded. The airship began to slow down, and Jax knew that he had won. But as he made his way back to the cockpit, he heard a noise behind him. He turned to see one of the crew members, a burly man with a thick beard, staring at him with anger in his eyes. "You!" the man shouted. "What are you doing here?" Jax tried to run, but the man was too fast. He tackled Jax to the ground and held him there, his hands around Jax's throat. "You're a thief," the man growled. "You've ruined everything." Jax struggled to breathe as the man tightened his grip. He knew that he was going to die. But then, something unexpected happened. The airship began to shake, and the sound of metal tearing filled the air. The crew member looked up in horror as he realized what was happening. The airship was falling apart. Jax took advantage of the distraction and pushed the man off of it. He ran to the cockpit, hoping to find a way to save himself. But it was too late. The airship was plummeting towards the ground, and there was nothing anyone could do to stop it. Jax closed his eyes and waited for the end. But then, something miraculous happened. The airship slowed down, and Jax felt the ground beneath him. He opened his eyes to see that he was no longer in the airship. He was standing on solid ground, surrounded by a group of people he had never seen before. "Welcome to the future," one of them said with a smile. Jax looked around in wonder. He had no idea how he had gotten here, but he knew that he was in a whole new world. And he was ready for whatever adventures lay ahead.